Today we are at Epcot. We're doing the other half, not the World Showcase, the bit with the rides. We had a long time getting in. The bag check queue was about half an hour long. So as usual, I sent everybody else through to wait for me, but they were waiting about half an hour sat on a bench while I waited in the queue to get my bag checked. That meant we missed our first fast pass, which wasn't well planned, to be fair. So we've gone and got a disability pass for Test Track, which is a high-speed car ride that the kids love. That one is in 50 minutes. So in the meantime, I've already booked a fast pass for Soarin', which the kids are on now, and I am in the Land Pavilion, which I will show you now. This is the Land Pavilion. There are lots of different pavilions, like big buildings with stuff in at Epcot. Soarin' is the ride, which is over there. It's like a simulator kind of hang glider. You sit on the hang glider and then you sort of feel like you're flying through the sky and over different landmarks. It's quite, I mean, the kids love it. It's a good ride. It's not loud, it's calm. It does make me travel sick a little bit, just the sense of sort of moving on some of it, which is why they're on it this time and not me, because I'm not going on it first. Right, the Land Pavilion has places to eat. There's a garden grill cafe at the top over there, which is like a spinning restaurant with views over the Living with the Land ride, which is over there. I'll show you that in a minute because we're going to go on it. And then there's places to eat. It's actually quite cool in here, and you know, there are places that you can sit which aren't too crowded. At the minute it's before lunchtime, it's about 10:45, and then it's got an upstairs, and upstairs is like a Lion King show. So there's a fair bit to do in here, and it's not too crowded or loud. There's no music or anything. This is what I was talking about the other day. Near the restrooms, there's seating areas that can be quieter. It's also worth knowing that if you want to get away with your kid, perhaps they're having a meltdown, which, you know, obviously it does happen, then you can go to the first aid stations. They have big quiet rooms that you can chill in and calm down. They don't mind that at all. This is Living with the Land, the ride. Do you know what? The queue is hardly ever more than 15 minutes. So it was 10 minutes then. They let us straight on without scanning the pass for the disability access pass, which means we can go on it while we're still waiting to go on Test Track.
This arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants remain seated in your boat at all times. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future. Tilapia, bass, and catfish like the ones you see here. Harmful pests like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional restaurants here at the land every year.
The Living with the Land ride, it's 14 minutes long and it's quite relaxing. It's in boats with no seatbelt, so obviously your child needs to be able to sit down in a boat. There's a mixture of dark and light because there's indoors and outdoors. And there's gentle music in the background. The voice, I guess, is quite loud, and some of the indoor bits are a little bit louder, like the storm and at the end. So, you know, if you need air defenders, you can take them on the ride. That's fine, because you can take anything on with you, with it being such a gentle ride. I'm in the Test Track Pavilion, which is the area at the end of Test Track, the ride. So you go on Test Track, you first log your card in, and then you design a car, and then you go on the ride, and it's like testing the car. It's a high-speed ride. It's a little bit bumpy to start with, and then it goes really fast around the track outside, and then it shoots you out here where there's interactive experiences where you can drive your car on the machines, new cars to look at, and these photo opportunities where you can get photographs emailed to you. It's not actually very busy in here, and never really does seem very busy in here, even though the ride is busy and the ride queue is very long. So we got a return time for the character spot after we went on test track for using the disability access pass, and then we've come over to Figment with Imagination because the queue's normally less than half an hour and it was 25 minutes, which means that we've managed to get on this with the disability access pass while we're waiting, and then we have a fast pass for Nemo and we'll do that next. So this is the Journey into Imagination with Figment ride.
To our special drive-through open house. I'm Dr. Nigel Channing, Chairman of the Imagination Institute. Hello! On your tour, you'll see how the 5 human senses can help capture your imagination.
I would bring ear defenders on this ride.
Absolutely not. This is one of our discoveries, the figment of imagination.
Yeah, and I know all about the senses. There's sight, sound, smell, touch, goochie goochie goo, and taste. Tastes like chicken. Can I go? Please, please, please.
No, I don't want you out of my sight.
Out of sight? Okay. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Figment, you are not to interfere with the tour. Our first stop is the sound lab. We'll begin by testing your hearing with a series of tones. Left ear, right ear. Left, right. What? This is odd. Hello? Who is this?
It's Figment.
Figment? I thought I told you not to interfere.
But you've got it wrong, Doc. It's not about listening with your ears. It's about listening with your imagination.
Now I've completely lost my train of thought.
No, you haven't. It's over here. All aboard. Woo-hoo! Next stop, imagination. For every sound your ears are hearing, 1,000 thoughts can start appearing, and each of us imagines different things. From just a sound, your mind has wings.
So that last bit was really, really loud.
If I may, in a calm, scientific, figment-free manner, the things we see with our eyes can control the eyes of the imagination. Let's begin by using the eye chart to test your vision. Now, all together, if you would please read line 3 and
With L-I-G-N-E-N-T, you can see things differently. Sure, you can see with your eyes, but imagine what you could see if you used your imagination. Follow the bouncing figment. One spark of light can light your fancy. Your mind sees more than what your eyes see. Your sense of sight can make your fancy fly. There's more to sight than meets the eye.
I say imagination must be captured and controlled.
Imagination works best when it's set free. Just turn your imagination loose and anything can happen.
Figment? Oh, he's gone. Our research shows that smells often trigger the imagination, especially when pleasant, familiar smells.
This bit shoots out smells.
Coming to play? I'd love to.
Figment, this is not a good time.
It's always a good time to use your imagination, so let the good times roll.
The smell that was shot at us in there was not a pleasant smell, so if your child's sensitive to smell, I'd suggest telling them to hold their nose when they get into that room.
You know, I'm sorry, but after that big stink in the smell lab, I hesitate to send you into the touch and taste labs. Perhaps I should end my open house right here.
Great idea. We'll go to my open house instead. It's much more fun. Right this way, everybody. Now, here's a real open house. Come on in. So, what do you think? Is it me?
More than you can imagine.
But Doc, it's exactly what I imagined. Imagination is the brain's open house.
Oh, of course. Imagination is just turning your thinking upside down.
So you might want ear defenders if you don't like loud noises. It's a good ride, it's fun. It is loud, and there are bits that are louder than others that are meant to be loud. It's also got a bit where it's very smelly. So if you're sensitive to smells, then you might want to hold your nose at that part. And then it blasts you with air. You will have heard in the video a couple of times. That's quite, in your face. So that's worth considering as well, or warning your child about before you go on. There are areas of dark and other bits that are fun. And then it pings you out into the Imagination Lab, which is an interactive area where you can play, and it's not too crowded here today. I'll show you. If you have a sensory seeker, they'll probably quite like that ride, and also the area afterwards. If you don't think they'll like the ride, you can walk in the exit through the gift shop, and you can go in the play area without going on the ride as well. So we were queuing in the Fast Pass entrance using the Disability Access Pass for the character meet and greet. We were there for about 5 minutes, and then they've let us through, and we're still behind 2 groups. So there's a little bit of a wait, but it's not too bad. So after they let you in, it's probably about a 5-minute wait in the queue until you get to see the characters. You are stood watching other people meeting the characters when you're in the queue, and you have to stay behind a line while you're waiting to see the characters. We're finished in Epcot for the day. We just did the Future World, not the World Showcase. We arrived about 10:30, and it's now about 10 to 1, so that's 2 and a bit hours. We mixed up the Disability Access Pass with the Fast Pass bookings, and then went on a couple of rides in between that have shorter queues, like Living in the Land and Figment with Imagination, and used the Disability Pass to get on those as well while we were waiting for other queues, which meant that we've done a fair few rides, and we've not really had much waiting time today, which is a lot better. Epcot's quite good for that. I quite like Epcot for using the Disability Pass. We're now going to go and get some lunch because we're all starving hungry.